Welcome in, everyone. David Roy, Paul Longoria here in the broadcast booth with you as always. Paul Longoria, get a nice little vacation away from it. Austin High gets a win in the interim, and not only that, but they get a district win. And when we were talking in that non-district schedule, we're looking ahead to district play, and we're saying, okay, if this team's going to want a shot at the playoffs, then they're going to need to cross over and cross off a couple names on the list. Del Valle was one of them. Well, they hit checkbox number one. They can check that off the list. Nice 35-7 win. Start out a little rocky in the first quarter, but this offense, as we've been talking about, we've been preaching to you at home, patience. Hang on. They're going to figure it out. Just hang in there. Finally, the Maroons figure it out, put up 35, of which unanswered points. All of it, 35 unanswered after falling behind 7-0 against Del Valle. And now coming in against a premier Dripping Springs team. You're getting them at home. But we were talking with Dripping Springs broadcast before the game, and they're saying it's probably the best Dripping Springs team they've seen in quite some time, and it's understandable.
Well, it's going to be a tough game tonight. Getting back to last week's win, as you alluded to, Del Valle was a team that the Maroons were going to have to take down to have some sort of playoff hope. We talked about the other games that you sort of have to figure they have to get a win to get into the playoffs. So it'd be good to get that first win of the season and make it a district one tonight. Let's just be blunt. It's going to be a big challenge. Dripping Springs is coming in. They're coming off the 9th season last year.
From talking about it with Coach Cecil, the one aspect that he talked about in game prep and the question of how do you game plan for somebody like this, and because he put it on the table, he's like, there's nothing they don't do really well. They do it all. They're really good. They're really stout up front. Defensively, they've got a good offensive line, really good receivers on the outside. Coach Cecil said they're 6'4", 6'5" wide receivers. He's like, they're going to be a matchup problem for anybody that they play, but especially in an environment like this here tonight. And so, Coach Cecil's message has been, well, it's just going to have to be a matter of we're just going to have to go back to the fundamentals, and we're going to have to come back to playing our style of ball. And it's always kind of interesting. You hear it differently from different coaches. The question of how much of your game plan turns into, do we attack a weakness versus we're going to focus on what we do well and let the chips fall where they may. And Coach Cecil stands on it. It's a little bit of a balance of both. It's just going to be a little bit of both that, there's some aspects that maybe we think we can take advantage of, and we're going to try to create the matchups where we can. But at the end of the day, we've got to focus on what we do and what our job is.
Yeah, you're taking on a team like this, and it's while you try your best to maybe exploit certain weaknesses in the other team, if it's not something that you do really well, that's a fine line you got to walk, because this is a Dripping Springs team that the Maroons can mistakes against. They've got to play the game. You can't have no turnovers. They've got to really minimize the penalties. They've got to try to hold on to the ball. They've got to make it happen off the field. So you sort of have to rely on the things that you feel that you do best and just work at it and try your hardest to really kind of stay in the game until the fourth quarters, because again, it's a tall task tonight.
Yeah. And we're going to see just from the offensive side of things how the Maroons plan on attacking that and try to meet that tall challenge. Because as we talked about, the non-district schedule was rough. And from talking to Coach Cecil, that was the pretty good aspect of it, in the sense that it was a pretty tough slate. And it was pretty tough in that regard, that you were able to meet that challenge and you were able to have that adversity up front, those tough games up front. Now, as you come into it, you're going to have to figure this offense out a little bit more. And Coach Cecil talked about there's still some things we want to tweak. It's not quite where we're at from the quarterback standpoint, specifically between Davenport and Jablone. He has said we're still going to work them both in. They offer two different skill sets. Jablone, more athletic, a little bit more speed kind of guy. Davenport, Coach Cecil said he can run it too. He's just a different kind of runner. He's more downhill, wants to run through you a little bit more. They're going to get worked in a little bit more. And the one So we'll take a quick break, let the marching band go back to work, and when we return, we'll get you set up for kickoff.
I'm on there. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Mic check. I felt like I was hearing something. Okay, it was low, and then you picked it up.
All right, welcome back in. David Roy, Paul Longoria here in the broadcast booth. We're getting you set up here for kickoff. Got a little pregame performance from the marching band, some visiting marching bands a little bit here with some of the middle schools coming in here. And, well, I mean, we got a packed sideline here tonight.
Yeah, boy, there are a lot of people here. Normally parking's not really an issue, but tonight I had to go all the way to the 5th floor in the parking garage. I thought maybe it was Dripping Springs traveling, and while they do have a pretty decent crowd here, no, it is the hundreds of younger kids here with their families, I would assume, since they can't drive to the stadium, but all through the feeder schools into Austin High, the elementary school kids, middle school kids. There's a lot of them here.
Yeah,
a lot of them here. The only thing I don't see is the fat man in a red suit, Santa, but. If he were here, he'd have a long line of kids. Wouldn't talk to him.
I mean, well, it's not quite. You talk about Santa. We're not quite there. We just got into October. Although, to your point, I was my setup at work. I can have kind of a little television sitting kind of in front of me. I don't even remember what I had on, but at one point it cut to a commercial. Walmart had their Christmas ad going already.
Hey,
advertising all the toys for kids and things like that, and it's. I mean, a little bit of, my gosh, going on here.
Well, it used to be Black Friday. It's no longer Black Friday now. They started about a week early now.
Yeah.
They get those deals out in November.
And you get that early stint of things going. The Dripping Springs Marching Band, of course, playing their alma mater, their school song here to bring out the Dripping Springs Tigers set here tonight. Squaring off against the Maroons. We talked about it. One of the best teams in the state, and you almost can put it in chalk. You don't know what order yet, just because you still have Lake Travis, Westlake on the schedule for them, and of course, Westlake playing tonight, going up against Aikens over at Berger. But you can almost chalk it up just a little bit here tonight for Dripping Springs to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. I tell you what, this district is very impressive. You'd be hard pressed to find a district that has 3 better teams in it.
Yeah.
I mean, some districts you might have 2 really good teams. Some districts you have 1 really good team. This one's got 3 outstanding teams that, if you're looking at it right now, halfway through the season, they're going to be strong playoff contenders, and wouldn't surprise me if Dripping Springs comes out of this district atop of it.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see as the season goes on how those chips fall, but like you said, I think Dripping Springs as a whole, when you look at it, a lot of people pick them. They're going to go to state. They're going to win state. I mean, a lot of people, before the season had started, those were the kind of predictions being out there. And, of course, I mean, you have Dripping Springs, Westlake, Lake Travis being among some of the top-tier teams, not just in this district, in the entirety of the state of Texas, some of them even in the entirety of the nation as a whole. And so when you put all of that together, that makes it a tough task for Austin High. Coach Cecil said his message is, well, we're going to have a good week of practice. We're going to have our best practice as the Maroons take the field. And you can feel the energy. They want to shock the world here. It has been from Coach Cecil in part of let's shock the world here tonight.
Yeah, and that's what it'll have to be. So it'll be a tall task, and they'll go out there and if they can lock in and play their A+ game, they've got a chance to kind of hang around in this thing. We'll see shortly.
Yeah, we'll see what Austin High can do. And I was filling in at the Bowie game last week against Lake Travis, and Bowie jumped out to a 14-0 game before their wheels fell off. They were against Lake Travis.
Yeah.
So you have that as being part of it, that, it can happen. And all it takes is somebody to have an off night, the other team to be on their A game for that to happen. And we'll see if that is going to be the case here tonight for the Maroons. We talked about Jablon, we talked about Davenport. The one aspect, though, that Coach Cecil had said, too, and we'll get into the starting offense and defense a little bit later, but one of the pleasant surprises on this offense has been the emergence of Caleb DeLeon out of the backfield.
Yeah. He came back a couple weeks ago in that Temple game and made an immediate impact, made some plays, and he's another guy that they're gonna need tonight. So they're gonna have to get some chunk plays, try to get this thing into a field position battle, and you do that by getting chunk plays and moving the ball downfield and with some big ones.
And a couple of turnovers. They're going to have to generate a few of those on their side and get them to their side of the ball. We'll talk about that defense when we figure out just exactly who's going to be in that starting lineup a little bit. We changed the graphics on our end, but Coach Cecil kind of played that a little close to the vest when I asked him about it. Was Jablon going to be the starter now going forward? He wasn't quite ready to commit to that, aside from both quarterbacks will see it. But DeLeon kind of filling in. Childers got banged up. They held him out of the Temple game. He's still kind of working his way back in. Had some nice carries last week, but DeLeon has kind of picked up. Yeah. That workload and that load share, so to speak, and is starting to kind of ramp up himself and starting to find his rhythm. And Owen Watley, of course, the fullback back there, he's starting to kind of work in a little bit more too. They've used him a little bit tailback and just kind of helping to pick up that difference in carries there that is left by the absence of Childers as they try to work him back into the lineup here and get him some more touches. So Friday, Davenport and Borth are the ones who go out for the Maroon offense, or for the Maroons as a whole, rather, as captains. And, of course, Alonzo Garcia, another name out there among this group of captains. And Austin High will get the ball to start here tonight. Ethan Cale, of course, being your other captain.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem, sung by.
So here we'll take a step aside for the national anthem, and then we'll get you set up for kickoff here in just a moment. Well, with that, the stage is set. Maroons, Tigers, set to get you started. Here tonight, we'll take this opportunity as the Maroons will get the ball to start. We'll take you through this offensive lineup here. Take you through the offense. Elijah Jablon, we talked about. He's one of the 2 quarterbacks. And, of course, Caleb DeLeon, that emergence that we've discussed. He's come through and has filled in nicely for Childers. In the receiving core, Vasquez, Hoopman, Davis, McDiamond, your tight end. They're going to be the pass catchers. There we go, got the words out. Of those 4, 3 of them, the receivers, they all had a touchdown grab a week ago. And then, of course, the line charged with protecting him and keeping this offense moving. And Aguilar, Garcia, Schmid, Oni, and Young are your starters up front here for the Maroon offense. Dripping Springs set to kick this one away. The Tigers all teed up, and here we go. Kick is away, and I'll go through the back of the end zone and
all the way through.
All the way through the back of the end zone there. So this Maroon offense will get you started. They'll start. Now they're on 25. Well, we talked about it. We'll see which quarterback gets the starting nod here tonight, but Coach Cecil said we're just going to keep riding with a hot hand, just due to the difference in skill sets. He said what he doesn't want what he had to deal with a couple seasons ago where a different quarterback was running each play in. He doesn't want that.
Yeah.
But it is Jablon who came on hot last week and led the Maroons to a win. He'll get the start here tonight, and he'll start under center. Single back set, snap, give. And a little play action rollout. And Jablon gonna finally take it and run. Elijah Jablon scampers his way forward, and he'll pick up.
I got about a yard on that. Looked like they ran a little bit of a misdirection, tried to get the ball downfield, but receivers covered, and Jablon just did the best he could, kind of scramble out and pick up a little bit of positive yards, but bring up a second and 9. We'll bring in Davenport.
Davenport will come out in the gun in a 4-wide set. Little motion there. And they'll try a quick hitter here for Logan Davis out into the flat. And that pass will fall incomplete. Brings up a long 3rd down here for the Maroons, something they do not want to be in a lot tonight.
They got Jablon back in the game for Davenport, but yeah, 3rd and 9 right off the bat is not what Coach Cecil was hoping for, but they've got to convert it, try to get this conversion here, but they really got to try to stay ahead of the chains this game.
Nice snap here. Jablon in trouble. Jablon lofting this down the field, incomplete.
He just had nowhere to go on that, moving outside the pocket to his left, and a bit of a desperate heave down the left side. It looked like Dripping Springs defender could have intercepted it. It would have been a tough play, but the ball falls incomplete. So quick 3 and out here for the Maroons.
So Peterson comes out to punt. Snap is away. This kick high and will be fielded from inside their own 40. And finally muscled down right at the 45-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10.
Well, outstanding field position for Dripping Springs here. 45-yard line, really with the offense. They don't need any help on this, but they'll start off in Maroon territory. Quarterback Chase Haynes brings him out on the field.
Haynes out of the gun here. He's got a 4-wide set. It's quick snap. Quick hitter outside to the right. Missed tackle. Couple more. And finally dragged down. They'll be getting him close to the line to gain and say he comes up just a yard shy.
Brought down by number 2.
So 2nd and 1.
Dripping's going to run. They're going to go quick. They'll go up tempo.
Not going to waste any time here. Quick snap. Haynes. Quick fire. And that is caught down the sideline. And a quick touchdown for Dripping Springs.
Well, just a simple out pattern. And Maroon defender took a inside angle on it. Receiver caught it, spun out, and had nothing but green in front of him. Ran the other 20, 25 yards for the touchdown. So quick score there by the Tigers.
So I'll come on for the extra point try. Kick is up, and it is good. And very quickly, Dripping Springs, good field position. Off the punt return, a 3 and out by the Maroon offense. And just like that, 10-26, in about 10-26 or so, 10-24 really. It is a 7-point lead for the Tigers.
Well, that did not take very long.
2 plays. That's all it took.
Not long at all. Minute 36 into the game, 3 and out, and a 2-play touchdown drive.
You know, Coach Cecil, the one thing he talked about with Dripping Springs quarterback Haynes, that, you know, the one thing that Cecil said he really loved was just how quick and decisive Haynes was passing-wise and getting the ball out of his hands. And that drive is as perfect of a display of that as any, as Haynes. I mean, it wasn't long. Now, one obviously was a quick hitter outside, just a simple little screen. But the other one downfield, went through his progressions quickly, and a quick fire. And a couple broken tackles, and it gives Dripping Springs the 7-0 lead. And they'll kick this one away. This one will not be returned either, as Vasquez was deep and let that one sail over his head into the back of the end zone as well. So, Maroon offense, we'll try this one again.
They got it. They've got to get first downs. I know that sounds really basic, but they've got to get first downs and try to keep this Dripping Springs offense off the field. It's a lot easier said than done. But, you know, we talked about last drive. Immediately we're behind the sticks from the get-go, and that's not going to work for them. Bobbled snap.
And able to fall on top of it was Jablon. That clock gets moving again. They'll come out to the line of scrimmage. Out of the gun, 4-wide set, Jablon. Receiver coming to motion is Vasquez. High snap, Jablon. Gonna take it and run. Caught from behind, down he goes.
Under pressure quickly by the Tigers defense, and they drop them. Gonna bring up a 3rd and 17.
I was gonna say 3rd and about 18 from the looks of it. Time ticking away. Snap, Jablon. Quick fire downfield, and it is caught right at the line to gain.
They give it to him. They marked it short.
No, they gave it
to him. Okay.
Austin High, first down.
Elijah Jablone found Brady Ford downfield, and the two connect.
Nice throw there by Jablone, getting it over the linebackers in front of the DBs.
Snap, give, first handoff of the night, and it goes nowhere as Caleb DeLeon is stacked up. Loss of about 1, 2nd and 11 now for the Maroon offense. Time ticking down here. We're near the 8-minute mark here of this first quarter. Dripping Springs in front, 7-0. And DeLeon going to bring Davis in motion. Snap, play fake, quick hitter here for Logan Davis. Davis going to turn upfield. Davis is a first down.
Nice play design there. Davis, quick ball got out of Jablone's hands quick, and quick hitter to Davis. Pretty much behind the line of scrimmage, but he had a lot of room to run. It was quick. Another big first down.
High snap, it goes over Jablone's head, and he just has to eat this one all the way back to the 31-yard line.
Wow, that just kills you right there. You get a little momentum going, and then a snap over the head, and suddenly you're at 2nd and 22. I mean, those are the plays we talked about. That's their second shaky snap. That one very much went over the head of Jablone, but those are the plays, though. They just bury you against a team like Dripping Springs. They're just hard to come out of.
It's almost like they thought Jablone was maybe an extra 2 feet tall. Maybe. I mean, my gosh.
Wow.
That was up and over. Snap, this time right to him. Jablone, little screen, and it's intercepted. Dripping Springs read it the entire way. They weren't fooled. Now the Tigers take over.
Major Betridge on that play there. Like you said, he had it read. They tried to set up the screen, and he was standing right there where the running back was, and he just stepped in front and made the play.
We'll take you through the Maroons starting defense. Hardison Borth, Michael Friday, Holden Taylor, and Jackson Taylor, the two on the edge. The twin brothers, the Taylor brothers. Coach Cecil wanted to make sure we gave them some appreciation. They were instrumental last week getting pressure, picking up sacks, and then, of course, the linebackers with Burns, Peel, and company. As this one, touchdown Dripping Springs against a secondary comprised of Alex Alderson, Luke Rinsby, Vince Geyer, and Vonzel Lewis.
Well, the receiver just wide open. I don't know if there was some sort of confusion on it, but he was to the outside. Nobody was even within 5 yards of him. As you see that play develop, it wasn't really a matter of you just getting beat on coverage. Just somebody wasn't over there that should have been.
Just lost track of him. The extra point is good. And a quick 14-0 lead for the Tigers of Dripping Springs. That was a one-play touchdown.
Well, they've run 3 plays. They're very efficient.
3 plays, 14 points for Dripping Springs. And the one thing I think, though, about it, unlike last week against Del Valle where it felt like, there was a lot of laundry on the field, especially early, not so much the case here tonight. There hasn't really been any penalties, no flags thrown. I know, talking with Coach Cecil, I know that was something that kind of drives any kind of coaching staff. It'll drive them absolutely crazy if you have a lot of penalties. And there was a few of those last week. Put the ball in harm's way a few times. And the Tigers drill this one again. Boy, he's got a heck of a leg, doesn't he?
Ian French. And I've noticed on both his PATs, he's put it over the locker room here at House Park. I say over the locker room, locker room behind the
field house.
Back behind the field house, yeah.
Well, 6:29 to go. Maroons will take over, and they'll have it 1st and 10. Snap. Jablon looking, he's in trouble. Gets away from one. Jablon reversing field. Cuts upfield. Here's Elijah Jablon ducking his way down, and that's a 1st down.
Nice scramble there.
Not quite. Oh, no, they do finally move it. Okay.
Say, I thought he
got close.
I thought he got it right at the 35. They're going to give it to him. Nice job play. Meant kind of a short pass coming to the right. It wasn't going to be there, and he did a nice job of tucking it, getting upfield. Get that 1st down.
4 wide, Jablon. Quick hitter and intercepted. Went over the head of Lorenzo Hoopman and still on his feet. Reversing field. Colton Tripp pushes his way in. It's a touchdown for Dripping Springs.
I don't know if the touchdown will stand. There's a penalty on the far side of the field just beyond the 20. It looks like there's going to be either a hold or a block in the back of some sort during the play, but the interception will stand and some of the return will stand, but not the touchdown. They'll bring the ball back. I don't know. The ball came out kind of funny of his hands, but the receiver, it also, I don't know if there was a miscommunication on the route.
That's what my initial thought was, because it was, to a degree, it was the right read because Hoopman was breaking open over the middle.
Yeah.
It just seemed like, for Jablon's standpoint, he thought Hoopman was going to be coming open further downfield than what he actually was. Yeah. In either case, it'll be 1st and 10 for Dripping Springs.
So with the penalty, they'll start the ball at the Maroon 33.
And they put a few ticks back on that clock. Pass incomplete. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. Two really good receivers out here. James Montgomery being one of them. Cooper Reed, 2 senior receivers.
Reed is quite a specimen. He looks like he's every bit of, like as you mentioned before the game, he's every bit of about 6'4", 6'5".
Snap here, Ames, a little give to the right side, and that'll pick up a decent chunk of yardage there. Brings up 3rd down, though. 3rd and about 6, maybe 7.
Down by a host of Maroons. 3rd down.
Jason Gata on the carry from the looks of it. Ames out of the gun. Quick fire outside to the right. Pass is caught, but Merrick Bloomgren had nowhere to go. And that'll bring up 4th and 8. There's a loss of a couple yards there.
Very nice play by the Austin defense there. Come up and make that play.
Alderson was the one out there, and Alex Alderson.
He was really kind of the only one out there.
And he came up, made an outstanding tackle. Coach Cecil was singing his praises yesterday. That Alderson has really done a nice job. Field goal kick is up, and it is no good.
Just stayed to the right. Certainly had the length from 48 yards, but it goes wide right. So big penalty on that interception return. Took the score off the board for Dripping Springs, and then the Maroon defense stiffens and forces a field goal on the first set of downs and stays wide right for Dripping Springs. So the Maroons come back out. They'll start off just outside their 30, about the 31-yard line. So nice stop there by the Maroons.
Coach Cecil said, sorry, Coach
I was just going to say, we talked about turnovers in the beginning, and Maroons are already 0-2 in that battle.
Well, and they're missing a player on the offense a little bit and some confusion. Jablon trying to direct Davis. Childers gets split out. There's a lot of confusion here. Now Davis motions into the backfield. Jablon swinging out to him, and it's incomplete.
I don't know how that wasn't a motion penalty also. I could have sworn I saw two guys in motion. You know, at a point like that, just call a timeout. I mean, that play looked doomed from the jump. I mean, guys were looking at the quarterback, confused, and again, I thought, yep, there is a penalty on the far side.
Oh, there is, okay.
I saw two guys in motion. There you go.
The procedure penalty makes that 2nd and 15. .418 remaining here in the first quarter. Maroons down by 14. But looking to answer. Snap, Jablon in trouble right away. Dumps it off here to Childers. Childers, nowhere to go.
Bring up a 2nd and 15.
Just got back to that line of scrimmage. You know, Coach Cecil talked about the one message as part of this week has been you have to build off the second half of last week. When Austin High went on their tear, the defense got a turnover, 6 points, a defensive score, and then Jablon and the offense went to town. Trying to build off that here tonight as Whit Davenport was in trouble. And gets back to the line of scrimmage. Not much more for him to be had there. Brings up 3rd down.
Just no time to throw back there. Got to the top of his drop, and defenders were already coming in on him. Pocket collapse. He just tried to get what he could, and turned out that was getting it back to the line of scrimmage.
Time ticking down here. They'll keep Davenport in at quarterback. He's got trips to his left. Childers offset to that same side. Davenport looks, has time, finds Vasquez on the outbreaking route, and that's enough for that's not quite enough for a first down, rather.
I think it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, they give him a yard.
Yeah, no.
It looked initially like he had to come back for it, but that turn up field after wound up just enough.
Nice throw. He did a really nice job of getting beyond that yardage he needed to make.
And quick fire here to the side. Vasquez drops it.
He tried to turn up and run before he got the ball in his hands. It would have been a nice 5-6 yard gain on first down. But again, very big catch he made on 3rd. Get that first down.
2nd and 10, Davenport. Came over to the side a little bit, I guess, to get some clarification on the call. Now comes back on the gun. Trips to his left. Childers to that side. Looks like actually it might be De Leon. Looks to Vasquez. Snap. Davenport. Looking. Lofts one. That pass is caught. It's Brady Ford. Right there at the line to gain.
They gave it to him.
They give him that first down.
Yeah. Nice throw. He just sat down in the zone, caught it, turned upfield, and dove for that first down marker. Right on it.
So comeback, trips now to the right. Davis and Hoopman have to switch. Brady Ford is way out wide here. Vasquez, a single receiver to the left. They'll give it to Childers. Childers bottled up and dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll go for a loss of 1, 2nd and 11.
Just no room there for Childers to do anything.
Ford comes off the field. On comes Mac Diamond.
They have to hustle to get this play off. Ready coming up on 10 seconds. They're just now getting to the line of scrimmage. They better get everyone set. Coming up on 5 seconds.
Davis coming to motion. Davenport gets the snap off. And a quick throw to him. Here's Logan Davis. Logan Davis breaking tackles. He's got a first down.
They got to try to go a little bit of a hurry up there, but there's been several times that pretty much on all their completions, they've had receivers that have just found nice pockets of space. I mean, that pass wasn't thrown at most of the line of scrimmage, but receiver had some room to
play fake to DeLeon, and then was looking for Patrick Byrd, like you said, overshot it, and Whit Davenport finally brings him down.
Wow. Well, that's 3 interceptions in this first quarter. Kind of the second drive in the row. Really on that drive, Austin High really had some things working in the short passing game, and it looked like they had another receiver that was going to be open, but Davenport simply went well too high and threw it right to the Dripping Springs defensive back, who makes a really nice return, gets it back into Maroon territory at the almost the third, well beyond the 39-yard line, or inside the 39.
Chase Ames out of the gun. Gotta offset with him. They'll give it to him, and he's got nowhere to go. The Taylor brothers coming in on the stop. Jackson Taylor, the one with the tackle for a loss. Ames, snap, give again to Gata. Running into the teeth of the Maroon defense. He'll surge ahead.
That looks like that'll do it for the first quarter. Dripping will have a third and down. It'll look like about 6.
I was going to say third and maybe 6, maybe 7 really, it looks like. And that will take us down to the end of the first quarter. So the Maroons, despite the score, they're in a fight. 14-0 Dripping Springs lead. As we shift you in to this second quarter of play. Take this time, we'll run you through our MVP level sponsors out here for Austin High. Starting with Z3 Real Estate, we'll take it back to the top of the list here that we've got. Nance Orthopedics, Plains Capital Bank, St. John's Studio, and Terrytown Pharmacy. As the Tigers get set, big third down, ball spotted at the Maroon 35-yard line. And whistles come in to stop this one.
Not sure what the stoppage is. Didn't see a flag or.
There's no flag. I'm guessing the officials weren't ready yet.
Illegal substitution.
I'll go against the Maroons. So that makes this third down totally different. Completely changes the landscape of it. And now out comes Hardison Borth, in comes Henry Clifton. So the Maroons will have 3 down with Friday and the Taylor brothers, and an extra defensive back on the field in Clifton. Kotzer, Burns, and Kales, your linebackers. Kale, of course, being a big leader for the Maroon defense. Snap, give, gotta, pushing forward. He got close.
Yeah, looks like they're going to give it to him. You know, Golly, going back to that third down, you're going to have him in 3rd and 7, and then you hand him 5 yards. And I mean, it's one thing to have a substitution penalty, you know, with a running clock and live action. But, boy, when you're coming out of a end of quarter, that's really just inexcusable as to how you have a substitution penalty like that.
1st and 10 to give. Play fake. Ames to the end zone. Touchdown. Dripping Springs. Tack another one on. Three touchdowns for the Tigers. 3 turnovers for the Maroons. And I would say that's pretty self-explanatory in and of itself of how this night has gone so far.
And really, I can guarantee you that Ames and Reed have not had 3 easier touchdown passes than the 3 they've had tonight. I mean, I think on any of the 3 touchdowns, the closest defender to Reed has been about 5 yards. So that one didn't look like a blown coverage. It just looked like they just couldn't cover him. But as you said, 3 turnovers for the Maroons, 3 touchdown passes for Dripping, and this is where we are, 21-0.
Savvy is a route runner. And Reed has been able to just get separation. Coach Cecil said, I mean, he pretty laid it out. That was the one thing he pointed to was good quarterback, good wide receivers that are going to be a matchup problem for anyone in the state. And so far, that's been the way that the points have come for Dripping Springs. And this Maroon defense has been put in some really tough positions. I mean, they had the one stop, but for the most part, they have been put in these tough spots on turnovers. As this kick, Vasquez will be able to field. Jane Vasquez on the return, doesn't get a whole lot. Gets out to about the 18, and that's where this drive will begin for the Maroon offense.
Well, the Maroons on the last 2 drives have been able to kind of string a couple of first downs together, including that last drive where they got well into Dripping Springs territory, but each of the last 2 drives resulted in a intercepted, or ended with an interception.
And points for Dripping Springs off them. Capitalizing on the turnovers. Davenport will stay at quarterback, 3 wide. He'll take the snap. And to give there, loses 1. 2nd down. So right now, this quick passing game for Austin High has been working so long as your quarterbacks can stay on target.
Yeah.
And so far, that's been the issue, whether it's been miscommunication, maybe having to hurry a throw a couple of times because this is a good front for Dripping Springs, whatever the case. Davenport, snap. A little bit of trickeration in the reverse for Logan Davis. And Dripping Springs was ready for it. Looks like he maybe got back to the original line of scrimmage.
Kind of ran a fake dive, and then Davis came around to be the option man for Davenport.
3rd and 9. Really, it's more like 3rd and 10. Snap, Davenport. Quick fire over the middle. And it is, they're saying it's a catch.
Oh, they gave him the catch?
They're giving him the catch, stopping the clock, and he says it is a catch.
It didn't look for sure. I mean, obviously we don't get the luxury of replay. It did not look like a clean catch. It looked like it went through his arms, but perhaps he was able to, as he got to the ground, maybe got his arms underneath it.
And here's a big run from Caleb DeLeon. It's another first down. So the Maroon offense, well, we talk all throughout non-district of this offense trying to gel and click, and we're starting to see it as De Leon looked like he bobbled the exchange initially, and yet somehow still able to pick up about 5 yards.
Yeah. A little bit of a generous spot, but we'll take it. You can't give any yards back.
No, yep.
It is interesting that this is the third drive in a row where, Austin High's managed to get, 2-3 first downs. I dare say probably it's kind of been the best that the offense has been able to look consistently in a game this year, ironically against easily their toughest opponent.
Yeah. They need to get that play off. They do. Hand off to De Leon. De Leon spinning forward. Comes up a yard shy of the line to gain, but it is 3rd and 1.
Yeah. Boy, kind of at this point, I just like to get up there. You got a good-sized quarterback with Davenport just going to center and
tush push.
Yeah, tush push or just sneak it up. I mean, something.
So Patrick Bird had come in for Logan Davis. He needed a breather. Bird comes off. Davis re-enters. And Davis will be split out in the slot here to the left with Lorenzo Hoopman wide outside. Early movement, free play. Davenport coming back. Here's Hoopman, and Hoopman would have a first down.
Yeah, they got the free play. They got offsides on Dripping Springs. But they got the first down on the throw. Boy, I thought Hoopman might be able to make that Dripping Springs defender miss, but nice wrap-up tackle because he had some room to run if he shakes loose of him. Okay, what are we discussing here? Let's go. We got an offsides.
Still discussing this.
Yeah, come on. Let's go. Take the down. They're going to mark off the 5. Normally, you just like to keep the –
I mean, if for nothing else, let Lorenzo Hoopman keep his catch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Keep the catch. I mean, you get the first down, so it's a difference between a yard or two. But, I mean, normally just let the guy keep his catch and move forward and go. But Austin High takes the penalty.
Hoopman comes in motion. Davenport swinging it out for him, and it's too far in front.
Well, they had something set up there. I mean, he had Davis look like Ford that was having a block on that defensive back. But Davenport just led Hoopman a little bit too much on that wide receiver screen, but it looked like he had some room to get upfield.
2nd and 10. 7:24 to go here in this second quarter of play. Maroons trailing by 21. Snap. Davenport rolling to his left. Just has to get rid of this one. And fans of the Maroons wanting a flag.
Boy, that made it all the way to the stands. About 10 rows up. Heads up there, lady.
Not much you can do about that one either.
No.
Good coverage downfield, and Davenport just wisely, instead of risking a disaster, just chucks it into the – boy, that almost got into the 4th row.
Yeah, well, I think it got higher than that. I think he got halfway up that section.
Halfway up? Okay.
Yeah. That was rolling to his left on the run, so.
And timeout here taken. And that play clock starting to wind down. Well, it doesn't get much easier for the Maroons next week. We talk about tonight and the challenges they're having here and the quality of opponent in Dripping Springs. And next week, they're on the road over west to Westlake.
Okay. Well, we should have a nice press box.
We should have a nice press box.
You know, I said a couple weeks ago I'm expecting a nice press box there at Westlake, so.
We'll see if it lives up to the billing. Dripping Springs, so I was over there last week,
They do
for
it
the
up, don't
booking.
they?
Well, I mean, they do it up. They bring out the catfish.
Yeah.
Same fried catfish recipe they've had over there for the last 20 years.
But
And they don't change it.
yeah, they did it. They do it up right out there. They got them burgers on the grill, fried catfish. They got fried catfish up in the press box. Oh, it's nice.
So here we go. Big third down. Davenport lofting one. Nobody's home. Brady Ford came inside. Seemed like Davenport was expecting him to go outside. Fourth down. And the miscommunication in the passing game just continues.
Yeah.
It's led to a couple of turnovers here tonight. And now you can add forcing a punt to that list as Peterson boots this one away. And that may
Good
draw a
punt.
penalty.
No,
He did not draw one.
He didn't signal a fair catch.
Well, it was just close enough. I was worried it might
Yeah.
have been considered, kick catch interference.
Yeah. Okay, well, Dripping easily their worst starting field position of the night. They'll be at their own 17, or actually almost out to the 18-yard line. Start this drive.
So 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Ames out of the gun, maybe a little early movement,
Yeah, I
but no
thought someone-
flag.
I thought
Wide
someone-
receiver screen.
I thought they moved awfully early.
What I thought
Interior
that,
lineman, yeah.
and it was the right guard who I
Yeah.
thought maybe
Yeah.
got like a little bit of a head start there.
Came out of his stance a little bit, but
Kind of like you remember the Chiefs had that right tackle
Yeah.
a couple years ago or last year that he just kind of seemed to keep flinching and moving early, and nobody called it. Little bubble screen here on 2nd down. High stepping his way out and finally shoved out of bounds. Montgomery picks up the 1st down for Dripping Springs. Forced out of bounds. That does stop that clock for a moment. Gets it rolling again. And 1st and 10. Ames, another quick throw outside, another 1st down.
That's complete number 2, receiver Cooper Reed.
well, it has not taken long at all for Dripping Springs to move out to just beyond midfield.
2 plays, and they're at the Maroon 49-yard line. Ames, play fake, another wide receiver screen. Alderson can't catch him. Finally force him out of bounds downfield, and another 1st down.
Well, they had that wide receiver screen set up very well. Quick throw out, accurate throw, and catch and one block. I mean, that's just that. They're just a sign of a team that they know what they're doing. They execute very well. It's those little things. Accurate pass, a catch, very good block. I mean, those plays rely on that. I mean, you're throwing it to the line of scrimmage, so
Well, Montgomery
Gotta take
came
that block.
out. Attaway came into the backfield. He got the carry, and Attaway just pushes his way forward. Not quite enough for a 1st down. It'll be 2nd and 1. And another quick change here. Dodge Reed comes off. He's a sophomore. And in his stead comes Bobby Wilkinson. Merrick Bloomgren, one of the wide receivers, still out there. And Cooper Reed, the other. Montgomery still on the sideline.
I suspect we're going to see something, some sort of pass with one of these 2 receivers. Hard side receivers, now they're going to return and run the ball.
Go to Attaway, and he should get the 1st down, but there is a flag at the far side.
Don't know if that's, I mean, from where it is, it could be offsides unless there was not enough people on the line.
It is
No,
offsides.
Yep.
He's signaling for it there. So this will be a goal-to-go situation.
Yep.
for Dripping Springs.
That kind of tells you where we are with the two teams. When I said perhaps it was an illegal formation, not enough men on the line of scrimmage, that's the type of mistake really that Dripping Springs just does not make. So, as we assumed correctly, it was going to be offsides on the Maroons.
So 1st and goal. In again comes Gata. Stopped in his tracks. Maybe gets a yard. 2nd and goal. Keep Gata out there. Dodge set up as a wing to the right. Bloomgren and Reed set up left. Ames looks that way, looking to the corner. Bloomgren, did he hold on? Touchdown.
They just ran him out of that slot. He ran it deep out, and the Ames just put the ball where only he could get it, throwing towards that back pylon. Nice pitch and catch there. Well-designed play. You give that inside guy a chance to make, you give both the quarterback and the receiver room to make that catch and throw.
Hold, kick is up, and it is good. And a 28-0 lead now for Dripping Springs.
You know, you give that slot receiver, you just kind of run him on an out pattern, and he gets a chance to scrape across the defensive back's face mask, and he's got all that room to work towards that corner. I mean, by the time he's making his out, he's just barely beyond the A of the AISD in the end zone, so he's got a lot of room, and a lot of room for Ames to make that, drop that ball in there. Sometimes when you throw it to that outside receiver, there's very little room for error. You got no room to work, and it's got to be a perfect pass, not so much on that case. So well-designed play and easy pitch and catch touchdown for Dripping Springs.
Well, and this is interesting now. So Hoopman now comes out, and it is Enzo Hoopman who is deep to receive, not Jane Vasquez, who it has been normally. You know, Hoopman, Coach Cecil gushed over him yesterday, saying that, you know, Hoopman just, he's one of those guys, does everything right, runs crisp routes, catches everything thrown his way. He's a fantastic and fierce blocker in the running game. Coach's dream of having a wide receiver that's like that, willing to block,
willing
especially.
To block, that's right.
Hoopman, one of those guys for the Maroons, as this Austin High offense looks to come up with something. Davenport's going to come out and lead the charge here with 3:48 to go in this first half of play. And he'll start under center. Single back set. Watley will motion over from left to right, setting up an unbalanced formation. Play fake to De Leon. Davenport coming back over the middle. Finds Hoopman. And it's a first down for the Maroons.
Nice throw, and as you mentioned, Hoopman with really, really nice hands. And that's not an easy catch. You got to go up a little bit in the middle of that defense, knowing pretty good chance you're going to get whacked. And but he hangs on to the ball and gets the first down for the Maroons.
Davenport comes out to the numbers, gets the signal, comes back in to direct his troops. Nearing that 3-minute mark, he'll motion Watley into the backfield, set up in an eye. Too wide to the right. He'll give it to Owen Watley. Owen Watley showing power, fighting forward, and he'll pick up 5.
Nice play call there. Obviously, they were expecting De Leon to get the handoff, but make that quick handoff to Watley, and he gets upfield 5 yards.
They're out to the 46, nearing that 2.5-minute mark. Watley again motioned into the backfield. 2 wide to the right. Give it out of the eye to DeLeon. DeLeon trying to pick his way through. He'll pick up maybe 2. Brings up 3rd and 3 for the Maroons. In comes Patrick Bird. Out comes Owen Watley. So Bird in this offense, kind of the backup to Watley. It's the fullback, and of course, and now whistles blow on this one. They'll take a timeout. A 2-minute timeout to be exact. For a second, the way it looked, I thought Austin High might have taken the timeout.
Same here. That's still a new rule we're getting used to.
Well, it came out from the line judge, and he's walking out, and so I'm seeing him waving the hands for the stoppage of the clock, and I'm thinking, okay, Austin High takes the timeout. They want to talk about this a little bit. Understandable. It's 3rd and 3 because the UIL made the rule to make things like the college game, kind of help prepare these kids for that next step up.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead, give you a 2-minute warning to go with it, and so there's kind of that other element to it. They've also got the implementation that they allow now. You can have the helmets and radio down straight from the booth to the field. Austin High, as we've seen, though, not doing that, as Davenport has to come over and get in the hand signs. I'll ask Coach Cecil, is that something you guys plan on implementing next year, or are you going to stick with the hand signals and things like that?
Seems a bit archaic, but I guess we'll see.
He's not worried about a Connor Stallions on the other side, maybe stealing their signs.
I guess not. Austin High 2 tight ends here.
Play fake, Davenport rolling, fires, incomplete over the head of Arenzo Hoopman. That'll stop the clock.
Wow, he had his tight end just wide open in the flat, and he chose to go for the deeper route. I mean, it looks like he could have had Hoopman, but boy, when I saw that tight end break, I'm like, what are you waiting for? Just throw it to him. He'll run another 10 yards. He's already got the first down. But, I mean, that's the difference there. I mean, Dripping Springs going to get the ball back here probably with about 1:45 left, which is more than enough time for them to be able to move the ball downfield. But that's the type of play right there. Look, you just keep the ball. You at least go in and don't give them a chance to score again.
That's a nice high punt from Peterson, but takes a Dripping Springs bounce back to that 29-yard line. And so
don't pass up the layup.
Sometimes you got to take what the defense gives you. Of course, I got to caution everybody because I just got into an argument. I get into these on social media sometimes about sports because I'm that kind of nut. And the whole conversation around some of these rookie quarterbacks, I always have to caution everybody. It's like, look, I get what you're saying in terms of, hey, sometimes you got to take what the defense gives you. However, we also don't know what they're being coached in terms of their progression.
Sure.
And I think that's part of it. To your point, though, I think you got to know the situation, though, that you maybe need to speed through your progressions a little bit. Is this a long throw from Bloomgren? There is a flag, and there might be an offensive PI on this.
The flag was thrown way.
It was downfield, and I caught he threw it back here, but I had caught a glimpse of Bloomgren maybe pushing.
Well, I know, but I get that, but from where the flag was thrown,
I understand.
It was thrown back towards where there was another receiver, and we kind of lost track because we're looking downfield, but there was a hold on the play by the Maroons.
So the clock starts rolling. Chase Ames, and now flag comes in here, and this is going to be some early movement, I think, and a false start here will make this 1st and 15. For Dripping Springs. So we talked earlier, it's been a pretty clean game so far and a clean half, and now the laundry's starting to get aired a little bit here.
That's right.
I don't know if the laundry's dirty. Do you throw your flags in the washer? I don't know about that, but Do you worry that if you do that, they might get bleached or stained? They're not yellow anymore? Don't know about that.
Don't let that yellow fade.
Exactly.
You got timeout by Dripping
Springs.
Springs.
Dripping Springs going to talk about this. So a little bit of a tumultuous few moments there. We're down to the 127 mark.
You go back to that last possession by the Maroons, and again, like you said, you sort of got to know the situation. And best that I could tell, I mean, the tight end broke open so early. He was uncovered. He came from that right side. He gave a quick chip block, and then he just quickly went out in the pattern, wide open. He was beyond the sticks. Nobody was within 10 yards of him, but it looked certainly like Davenport was looking downfield first. And again, if you just make that throw, your tight end makes the catch, he runs 10 yards, and you pretty much at a minimum probably going to end up running out the clock at least. Yeah. But now you don't get the first down. You give Dripping Springs the ball back with, again, as I mentioned, plenty of time to score. Now you're having to defend from your own 30 now with 90 seconds left, or just under 90 seconds.
Give you a quick score update. Westlake, Aikens going on just down the road at Berger. Game's going about how you'd expect. Second quarter, Westlake up 40+ to nothing right now. As Ames throwing back shoulder for Montgomery. That pass incomplete.
Yeah, we're going to have a roughing the passer penalty.
Pass intended for number 7, Eric Bloom. However, there is a flag on the play.
49 to nothing right now. Westlake up over Aikens. Only the second quarter. And that one just down the street from us.
Personal foul. Personal pass. Goes to defense number 0. 15 yards from the previous block.
Well, another flag.
And that'll go against Jackson Taylor. It's just not what you want from one of your stalwart members of this defense. It'll be 1st and 10 from inside the 20. Snap, Chase Ames, quick fire, incomplete. That'll stop the clock.
Pass intended for number 8, Logan.
Looking in the direction of Bobby Wilkinson there. Snap. Quick give. Attaway pushes his way forward. He'll pick up about 3. Third and 7. Ethan Kale over there to make the tackle. Down inside a minute. Receiver in motion is Wilkinson. Ames looking, firing to the end zone, gets it down to the 1. That'll be 1st and goal to go for Dripping Springs.
Well, you knew they were, they're going to go with the tush push. Well, there was movement on the offensive line there. It's going to move him back 5 yards.
So instead of being 1st and goal from the 1, they were flashing hands at him. I'm guessing Austin High going to take a timeout as part of this. That's what it seems like will be the case.
Don't miss tonight's halftime show with performances by the Austin High Band and Red Jackets.
So it'll still be 1st and goal. I don't know if they took a charge timeout or not, though, or if it was an official timeout.
Yeah, because there's still 2 timeouts left, and Dripping took one a couple of plays ago.
It'll be 1st and goal from the 7. Nobody got charged with that timeout, so it must have been an official timeout.
I didn't really see
or an equipment timeout or something to that effect. And our main official here keeps looking at the scoreboard at the far end. I'm not sure what that was for. And a little flea flicker in reverse, and the Maroons fall on it.
Wow.
Austin High will take possession.
Well, Dripping tried to get a little bit tricky on that. They brought Cooper Reed around on the reverse. It was a pitch. First thing he's dropped all night. I don't know if the pitch was great, but hit his hands and went to the ground.
So 28 ticks. I can't imagine Coach Cecil and company would be too aggressive, just giving the spot of the ball here. Backed up at their own 12. Snap. Give. Caleb DeLeon. He'll push forward. They do not need to run another play.
I never quite understand a call like that. Could just take a
Catch
knee.
them by surprise, I guess. And
I can't catch them by surprise.
You know, I mean, if De Leon maybe breaks one and, you know, goes all the way downfield, or, you know, if he ends up, I think it's just kind of one of those that it depends on, hey, we're going to call this, we're going to see what happens.
See what happens.
And, you know, if De Leon picks up a huge chunk of yardage, then, you know, and he gets out to midfield, then maybe we burn a quick timeout. All right,
point.
let's see if we can take a shot at the end zone or get some points on the board. If he gets stopped, then it's fine. We'll let the clock burn out. It's just kind of a, you know, it's a low risk, I think, just kind of scenario. Hey, if it works and we get an explosive play off it, great. If not, we're in no worse shape than what we're currently are. We'll take the halftime, we'll regroup, and we'll go from there. So, you know, that first half, I know the scoreboard is what the score says it is, and take nothing away from that. It feels, though, in some respects, a little bit closer in 28-0. There's been moments of it just from the Maroons have put semblances of drive together, and then whether it's a miscommunication or whether it's, you know, a hurried throw or whatever, it's led to a turnover, and Dripping Springs has been able to capitalize. And I think when you put it in that context, it's not where you want to be. It's certainly not where, you know, Coach Cecil would tell you that he wants to be.
No, but you're right. I mean, as I mentioned earlier in the game, Austin High really has looked pretty solid on offense, given the level of competition that they're facing. If you take away the Del Valle game from last week, probably their most legitimate look on offense against really good competition. So they've strung some drives together. They just stall out or they turn the ball over or what have you. But so they've managed to chew up some of this clock and get into a position where, again, 28-0 is not ideal, but certainly could be a lot worse.
Sure, yeah, and I think, to that point, there's a lot of elements that you can hang your hat on. Quick passing game has looked really, really good. Really good. You've been able to get the ball into the hands of some playmakers, and Davis and Hoopman and Vasquez, that they've been able to make some guys miss, and they kind of push downfield.
Yeah.
De Leon and Childers both trying to get back, trying to get Childers back into a groove a little bit, trying to get him some workload. But, you have De Leon, who has looked really good running the ball. Watley gets some carries there. Jablon made a few nice runs of his own, trying to scramble and scamper around. And then Davenport comes in, kind of gets your quick game going a little bit. And Coach Cecil, he wasn't shy about it. He said, you're going to see both quarterbacks. We're going to keep working them in here, and we're just going to keep running with a hot hand until we get some things figured out and see. And I think Coach Cecil's of the mindset, because there's such different skill sets, and they're both capable, I think you're just going to continue throughout the course of the season. I think we're going to see both Davenport and Jablone at different instances and at different points in time. I don't think they intend. I think it's just a 1A, 1B situation for these two quarterbacks. You're not going to have one true starting quarterback this year that you can hang your hat on like you may have had in seasons past with Latham and Davenport and Jablone backing him up, but Latham was always that guy as that starter. Not the case. We're going to see them both kind of throughout the course of the season. Maybe not every single play as a quarterback running one in, but different series, different quarters, you're seeing a change in quarterback, and the Maroons trying to create a spark. And they've had it in different times. They got a turnover defensively, got a really good stop defensively earlier in this game. They just haven't been able to capitalize on it. But I think we can all agree this is, in terms of building off the second half of last week, it's not showing up on the scoreboard. But this offense is playing much more cleanly, much more effectively.
Much more
the offensive line is looking much, much better than they did at the onset. That tells you a few things. They're picking up the scheme. Everything is finally starting to click. Coach Cecil had said earlier this year, hey, we want to get our guys playing fast, and the way you do that is we don't get them thinking about it. Well, with the new scheme, there's a lot of thinking going on early. That is now no longer the case, and that's showing. Now these guys are able to start going out and playing. If they can keep this up, they can figure out a way to mitigate the turnovers and the miscommunications. I mean, if you take those 3 turnovers away to an extent and maybe 3 touchdowns come off the board for Dripping Springs a little bit, it may be a different game. It may not be a different game. We're not going to get into the what-if game in that regard, but I will say if you can clean up the turnovers kind of going forward in the second half, you can still make a game out of it. This is still well within reach. And then going forward, teams like Westlake and Lake Travis, you might be able to give them something of a challenge here if you can just keep the turnovers at a minimum, keep the mistakes at a minimum, and then just continue to power ahead from there offensively.
That's a good point. You gotta keep things going when you can on offense, and I will say they've looked pretty solid today on offense, save for the 3 turnovers, and I know that's kind of hard to accept, but that has been a big part of this 28-0 deficit. But they have looked like they've got some things working on offense to be able to put a little bit of pressure on them, and you never know.
All right, well, step aside, Dripping Springs, the Austin High Marching Band. They'll get some work in here for you tonight, and we will step aside for them to get to work. You're watching Maroon Football here on the VIPE Live Network. We'll be right back.
The Sycamore Springs Middle School directors are Jana Galloway and Lauren Heilberg. This year's head drum major is Isabella Verholz. Assistant drum majors are Brady Donahue, Grace Bertram, and Bella Hajari. Woodwind captains are Enrique Bisaraga and Gavin McAlpine. Brass captains are Kira McAllister and Jackson Williams. Percussion captains are Evan Murphy, Isla Conroe, and Hannah Stalvey. Color guard captain is Mackenzie Culberson. The section of the week is trumpets. And the marcher of the week is Ethan Leone. And now, the 2025 Dripping Springs Tiger Band presents Walala, taking joy seriously.
Not too bad, clicking around, clicking buttons. Pretty easy once you don't have to worry about what I need queued up next. And then once I'm done with like the early, it's usually just the first half. And then once I'm done, the only thing that usually happens in the second half is I'll pull up the schedule, and that's about it. Maybe a couple more sponsor type stuff, but it's not too bad. Still the MVP. Yeah, I mean, most of it's just stuff I use in the first half to get everything up to speed, and then it just kind of dies off once you get going. These batteries, once they got dumped off, I was gonna say, why don't I put them away somewhere so we don't get dig out. Is that one to be replaced, or is that a fresh one? Okay. Yeah, let's swap that one out. Let's get out a fresh battery for both. That way we don't have to. That way we don't get confused and put in new batteries or
The Tiger Band would like to thank their corporate sponsors. Bronze sponsors are Austin Armature Works, Laundry Rose, College Wise Pros, Texas Christian's Bean Sprout Pediatrics, Dripping Springs Austin CAD Services, and Texas Regional Bank. Silver sponsors are Wildbirds Unlimited and Smith Wealth Management Group. Gold sponsors are Jersey Mike Subs, Belterra Village, Williams Communications, Dorothy Butler Law Firm, and Purdue Brandon Fielder Collins and Mott LLP. And our platinum sponsor is Avant Financial Advisors. And finally, the Tiger Band would like to wish the Austin Maroons a great competition season. Now, for your halftime enjoyment are the award-winning Austin High Red Jackets. The Red Jackets are under the direction of Stephanie Braden Wright and Alyssa LeBron. They are led on to the field by Senior Lieutenant Jenny Collins and Junior Lieutenants Caleb Air and Callie Corliss. President is Scarlett Alanis Fernandez. Vice President is Ellie Butterworth. Social officers are Ellie Shook and Catherine Thompson. Spirit Girl of the Week is Bea Wittenbreaker. And the Red Jacket of the Week is Catherine Thompson. Tonight, the Red Jackets will be performing Upon Routine Too Confident by Demi Lovato. Ladies and gentlemen, your Austin High Red Jackets! And now, presenting the Austin High School Maroon Band. The Austin High Band is under the direction of Richard Patnoff, Tia Kilbane, and Abby West. Additional staff members include Marcus Alvarado, Rune Hale, and Dashiell Riley Taylor. The Austin High Band is under the field direction of drum majors Sebastian Blanco, Eliud Pozos, Lee Worsham, and A.B. Lee. Our section of the week is the euphonium section. Our marcher of the week is Bella from the piccolo section. Tonight we will perform our UIL show entitled Under Pressure, featuring music by Queen, David Bowie, Carl Jenkins, the Rolling Stones, Shirley Bassey, and Rihanna. Our featured soloists this evening are Juan Mersha Monterrazzo on trombone, Lee Worsham on soprano sax, Alejandro Ortega on alto, Maddox Lindsay on tenor, Ryan Martinez on bari, tuba duet featuring Thomas Bryant and Nick Tubman, Caracaro on flute, Eliud Pozos on French horn. We would like to take a moment to wish the Dripping Springs Band good luck on their UIL season and thank all our many parent volunteers, especially those who help with Maroon Crew every week. We cannot perform without your support. The band boosters would like to thank our sponsor, Daymaker Half Day Cafe, keeping the Maroon Band cool all season long. Ladies and gentlemen, the Austin High Band!
Get out of my way. What the hell is your problem? Just new batteries?
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to historic House Park. David Roy, Paul Longoria back with you here in the broadcast booth as we get set for this third quarter of play. Austin High wanted the ball to start. That means they're going to have to kick it back to Dripping Springs, who's already got a 28-0 lead over the Maroons. 21 of those points have come as a result of Austin High turnovers that Dripping Springs was able to take full advantage of. And we'll see if Austin High has been able to find a solution to their giveaway problem. It's a little bit early for Christmas. And
It
yet
is.
Austin
It is.
High tonight has been in a giving mood.
Yes, 3 in the first quarter. I guess good news is none in the second quarter, but we talked about it going into halftime. Maroon offense has looked pretty solid tonight. They just got to maintain it all the way through to get a score, but no easy task against a really good Dripping Springs team. But we'll see how they do in this second half. But as you mentioned, it's going to be up to the defense to get a stop on Dripping Springs as they'll get the ball to start the second half.
And we'll see what the Maroons may have in store for that. I don't know that they would do anything maybe too crazy in terms of trying a pooch kick or anything like that. Certainly would think that Dripping Springs would be aware and ready for it. We'll take you through and run you through our championship level sponsors here. Tonight's broadcast presented to you in part by Austin Infinity, Lee's Meat Market, and the West Austin Corsairs. Here tonight, and of course as well, brought to you by Torchy's, the game day meal provider and friend of this broadcast for the Maroons. The Maroons get set to kick this away. And we get set for a second half of action here tonight, as is Westlake Aikens. Westlake leads Aikens coming out of the half 52-0.
Looks like they got that one in the bag.
A little bit of a pooch kick there, and it will stay in bounds as a live ball. Dripping Springs fell on it just in time. Really outstanding kick by Peterson to give his guys an opportunity. It looked like it was going to bounce out of bounds,
it
and
did.
then it just bounced straight up. And it was a short bounce too, so.
Well, the ball was spinning vertically.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it was spinning horizontally, but it was the ball was in a vertical position and hit the ground. The Dripping Springs kick returner, obviously he thought it was going to go out of bounds. It landed about a foot in, and it bounced further in bounds.
Right. Had to dive on top of it. Chase Ames and company, they'll go back to work. Snap, another little wide receiver screen, and it is dropped.
Well, that's 2 drops in a row from Reed Cooper.
A little bit uncharacteristic, too, I would think, especially off to that side. It's not necessarily intensive. Quick snap, quick throw. This time it is caught. Montgomery with the grab. Montgomery with a head of steam down the sideline.
Wow.
A little bit of shake and bake, and Montgomery, nobody's going to catch him. Touchdown, Dripping Springs.
Well, that was an impressive catch. The catch wasn't so impressive. It was just a quick swing pass, but he took that thing 80 yards to the house, and he kind of did kind of a dead leg move once he got to the Dripping 40, or to the Austin High 40, to shake one last defender, and then took it the rest of the way. Wow.
Snap, hold, kick is up, and it is good.
Well, that's not the start you're hoping for. You're Austin High.
Just like that, 2 plays is all it takes. And Dripping Springs adds to their lead. Go up by 5 possessions, 5 touchdowns, 35-0 here in House Park. And it is at this point that it appears some of the Maroon faithful are heading for the exits.
Yeah, I noticed that when the.
I think it's just the band parents.
I guess
Kids who are there to support, parents who are here to support the band, and once the band's done, it's time for them to get out of here.
I guess. Where are you going on a Thursday night?
Well, it is a Thursday night. I guess some of them do have to go to work in the morning.
Well, I get that.
Not everybody
But really,
can
it's
work
Friday,
from home.
though.
Well, that's true, too. Some of us are actually doubling up. I got to be out at Hyde Park tomorrow night filling in for them out there.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
a little bit of double dip into my week. I don't know how much the wife appreciates me taking 2 weeks to double dip like that, but some days I think she might appreciate it. Other days, not so sure if that's true.
Yep.
Well, with the touchback, the Maroons will take over at their own 25-yard line, and that is where this offense will get going. Whit Davenport will lead the charge coming out of the half. Caleb DeLeon will start in the backfield, and they'll come out 3 wide to the right, and I'm thinking they might be short. Quick throw outside, pass complete.
I think you would be right.
I thought they only had
let's see.
10 out there. I might be wrong. There might have been just a tight end that I just couldn't see.
Okay, I do see 11. Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
okay.
I must overlook the same thing.
I'm thinking there was just a tight end on that side that I just couldn't see because I saw trips that side, and there just must have been another extra down that I I didn't quite see from my position up here. It's a loss of 1 either way. That play clock running down.
Yeah, boy, they just.
Receiver in motion is Vasquez. And Davenport's in trouble, just has to tuck it and eat it. And he will get dropped for a loss of about 3 more. And that'll bring up 3rd and 14.
Well, it looks like they were trying to set up some sort of action on the left-hand side, perhaps a screen, or maybe they were going to take a shot deep, but Dripping Springs had that well covered, and by the time Davenport realized that the defense was already on top of him for the sack.
Well, it seemed like Vasquez, he kind of had a little half step in his motion, like maybe he was coming across too fast. Then as he does, Davenport looked there first, then looked upfield and nobody there. And this time looking in the direction of Jane Vasquez, cannot connect. And that'll bring up 4th down. And the Maroons will send out Peterson in the punt unit. Vasquez well covered. Davenport trying to put it in a spot where only Vasquez could get to it.
This feels like a dangerous situation here, this punt.
And Peterson gets it off, but that is a short kick, sky high. Bounces right in front of a Dripping Springs player, and maybe a little bit fortunate on the Dripping Springs side of things because the Maroons were there ready to pounce had it hit him.
Looks like the Tigers will start at the 48 of the Maroons. Exactly 2 minutes gone in this 3rd quarter.
So Ames looking, lofting this one for Montgomery. Hits him in stride. Tack another one on for Dripping Springs.
Well, they set that up. They set up showed a receiver screen out to the left. Montgomery feigned like he was going to block, and then he just took off downfield. You could just see it all developing right in front of us. And it was really just a matter of, okay, well, is the pass going to get there or is it going to get overthrown? But it wasn't.
Extra point is up, and that is in the parking lot. 42-0 for the Tigers.
Well, that is quick.
They did not waste any time with that one. You said it, quick and in a hurry.
Yep.
Just a one-shot, send Montgomery downfield. Coach Cecil had said, I mean, he had pointed out, I mean, this is a really strong passing game. And we talked, and, is there any weakness to this team? And he said, not really. And, we were talking about with the quality of opponent that Dripping Springs has played and the quality that Dripping Springs has played at, if there are any weaknesses on this team, they haven't shown it. I mean, they have blown through everybody on their schedule. If there's anything you could try to take advantage of, it's not on tape.
It doesn't look like it. I mean, Austin High's managed to do some things in the short passing game and find a couple of holes here and there to, get some first downs. But really, overall, it's just been pretty dominant by Dripping Springs.
And that'll go into the end zone for a touchback here.
Well, best I can tell, Montgomery's got 128 yards on his last 2 catches and 2 touchdowns. I think that's pretty good.
Well, and it's been just absolutely impressive. I mean, and there's no shortage of it. If you do something about Montgomery, then you've still got Reed, you've still got Bloomgren out there, and so there's quality there at the receiving game, and they can hit you in a number of ways. We've seen it tonight. I mean, some quick passes. shots downfield. They can do it all as Jablon comes in, and a handoff here for De Leon. Picks up a modest little chunk of change. And timeout taken here. Somebody lost their lid.
Okay.
So of the offensive line, the left tackle, Jane Aguilar, lost his lid. He must come out. Second and 6. Jablon will come out, and a little confusion as they change the play. Deering and Diamond ran into each other. Play fake. Jablon in trouble. Down he goes.
Just no time. Gets to the top of his drop, and he's got 2 defenders from Dripping Springs squeezing him to the inside and collapse on him to make the sack.
3rd and 11. Davenport will come in for Jablon after that sack. 4 wide, trips to the right. Davenport to throw. He's in trouble. Down goes Davenport. Hard sack taken there. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Seems to me the Dripping Springs defense may have had a bit of a talking to by their staff. Perhaps not satisfied with some of the yardage they gave up in the first half. Obviously, they kept Austin High off the scoreboard, but they've really come out. They're playing fast, playing hard in the second half, and it just really overwhelmed the Maroon defense quickly on 2 drives.
Snap, punt is away, and fair catch signaled inside on the Dripping Springs side of midfield. That's where it'll be 1st and 10.
Well, Dripping Springs run 3 plays this half. 2 of them are touchdowns.
Yeah. And one, I guess, could have been a touchdown. It got dropped. We'll never know what it could have wound up being instead. So either way, it'll be 1st and 10 with the Tigers well within scoring range. As they've shown tonight, they can score from anywhere on the field. Here's Ames flushed out of the pocket. One of the rare times that has been the case tonight. And overshoots his intended target. And that'll stop the clock.
You were correct in saying that was one of the few times. Got some pressure on him. And by few, I mean maybe 1 or 2.
Hasn't been easy getting pressure on this quarterback. Another little quick hitter outside.
Pass complete to number 36, Harrison Rohr.
Harrison Rohr, so it seems Westlake kind of starting to sub out, rotate some guys in at the wide receiver spot, get them some experience here.
Yeah.
You know, ask Coach Cecil about, you know, kind of something similar, like, you know, and we got talking about depth and you know, having to call up some guys for depth, and just kind of ask the question, you know, as pressure comes in, good catch here on that far side, still on his feet, and breaking loose down the sideline before he's finally stopped. Harrison Rohr gets credit with a catch on that far side.
He just ran a simple curl route, drove his man deep, and then came back, but then turned a 10-yard catch into about a 40-yard gain.
1st and goal, that goes backwards. Brings up 2nd and goal.
Pass broken up by number 38, Donovan Hamilton.
You know, you mentioned Dripping Springs starting to kind of rotate in some receivers and some other positions, and we've talked about it before. That's really how you sort of keep your program rolling year after year. I mean, they probably are bringing in younger players, but they're getting so much playing time that it's not new that when they're kind of the next man up next season to take that role.
Snap here, give, pushing forward. They give it to Gata, and Jason Gata comes up just a couple yards short. You know, talking about it, though, that next man up, you know, talking to Coach Cecil, his approach on it is, you know, doesn't want to necessarily call guys up. He said, yeah, if they're ready and we think they can produce, we'll call them up. But he said, I think for their development, he said it's better for them to stay down at JV where they'll get the playing time. He's like, we don't want to call them up and have them just stand on the sideline.
Sure.
He said, for their development, it's better that they just sit and produce that way, as Ames keeps it a little misdirection there.
I mean, illegal. That was offsides on Westlake. That'll be declined, touchdown.
Like you said, the offsides call, penalty is declined. And Dripping Springs scores with 6:08 remaining. 48-0 the lead here for Dripping Springs. Extra point is up, and it is good. 49-0. Let's take a look at this Maroon schedule here, get that set up here for you. Obviously, last week, the win over Del Valley here tonight, looking very much like a Dripping Springs win. The question will just be what that margin is.
Yeah.
Next week, a week from today, on the road at Westlake. So another Thursday game, back-to-back Thursday games. Then they get a little bit of an extended break there, an extra day when they come back here to play Aikens. That is on the 17th. Then Austin High finally gets their bye week. They'll get that break there, and then they will come back. We will be at Berger to play Bowie on Halloween night.
That'll be a game they got to win.
And then, of course, we'll wrap it up here at home against Lake Travis. We will not have to go out to Dripping Springs where the facilities are being shared between Dripping Springs and Lake Travis.
What's being shared?
Dripping Springs right now, because Lake Travis is having renovations done on their stadium. Lake Travis's home games are being played out at Dripping Springs.
I did not know that.
So right now, Dripping Springs, Lake Travis have the shared facilities, and supposedly, so next week, Lake Travis is the home game the home team for Dripping Springs, Lake Travis.
Wow. Okay.
And supposedly Lake Travis, at the start of the season, had decided that would be their homecoming game.
Okay.
So it's Lake Travis homecoming in Dripping Springs' house.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know how that works. As this pass incomplete, looking in the direction of Enzo Hoopman.
I guess they still have to get the fried catfish, though, right?
I'm sure they get to the fried catfish,
Okay,
though.
right.
I don't know how that works. I mean, I would think so.
I did not know that. Okay.
So they're roomies
Okay.
for the rest of the season.
Okay.
And then Lake Travis will move into their new facilities. And it's weird, too. We were out there for that Lake Travis game last season. I didn't think that their facilities were necessarily too bad. The field looked nice. Everything looked okay. I think the only thing that
Are they just trying to put a dome on it?
I mean, at this point, you got the money. I mean, why not? And I'm not sure what it is. I know the press box need a little TLC and, a little bit of renovation done to that. But, That
Okay.
was all I didn't know that they were going to need to full on just shut out from the stadium
Wow,
and move
okay.
on. So I have no idea what we'll find out next year. Austin High will be at Lake Travis, so we'll get to see the new facilities next year, assuming that they let us, keep doing this. As a beautiful throw from Davenport. Vasquez fighting through contact. It takes 11 Tigers to finally corral Jane Vasquez.
That was probably the best protection that Davenport's had all night. He got to his top of his drop. Good protection, stepped up, made a throw back to his right.
Give here to DeLeon. Caleb DeLeon surging ahead. And he'll pick up a nice chunky yardage. Gain of about 6, brings up 2nd and 4. Going up tempo, Davenport able to corral the snap. Has to keep it, and Whit Davenport gets forced out of bounds.
Well, he did the best he could. Snap was high. He was bounced off his hands, but he's able to make a clean catch of it after that deflection. And he didn't even bother trying to do anything with the play. He just said, I'm going to take it and go, and got it upfield for about 3-4 yards, bring up a 3rd and 1.
And you saw him. He had both hands on it like he was considering it for a hot
for a
minute
second.
there.
Yeah, and he said, look, let's just get what we can here.
That's a smart decision by the junior. Just puts head down, tucks it away, and off he goes. 30 yard. Give to DeLeon. DeLeon stonewalled in the backfield. Coach Cecil will wave the white flag at that. 4th and 2. Out comes Peterson and the maroon punting unit. I imagine that might be all we've seen of Chase Ames today for Dripping Springs when they get the ball back here. Can't imagine they would keep him out there for too much longer. I know they're working in some of the other wide receivers. Peterson's punt is caught.
There's a tackle. I
Flags
was gonna say.
thrown. As this punt, the return will come back.
Well, there's probably at least 2 penalties. There's certainly one on the near side. There was a clear hold, or a tackle, I should say, by the Dripping Springs punt return player. But then there's one on the far side also.
Yeah. So it should be 1st and 10, Dripping Springs. The question's going to be, as the officials meet and discuss this, where will Dripping Springs have it 1st and 10 at?
Well, it looks like they were given their choice. There was one at the 40 and one at the 35. They're going to probably step it off, I imagine, from the 35 is my guess. Yes, they are.
You got the Dripping Springs staff out there getting an explanation from the field judge. And here we go, 1st and 10. We do have a change at quarterback. Out is Ames. Eat is Pete Friedenberg, sorry. And Friedenberg almost looked like he wasn't ready for the snap. Quick throw on the wide receiver screen. That pass is complete to Frank Casita. Brings up 2nd and 4. So we near the 2-minute mark here of this 3rd quarter of play. With Dripping Springs out in front, 49-0. Play fake. Friedenberg overshot his intended target. And that'll bring up 3rd and 4 for the Tigers.
Second straight snap that he hasn't handled quite cleanly. And that ball, that kind of hurried the throw and forced a high throw. And
Well, in the first one, it was like off outside. It almost looked like it was just almost like a shotgun snap, and not, I mean, in the formation, but in terms of the accuracy of the snap itself. Went off to a side, a give here, and pushing through this Maroon defense for a first down. And Aceta picks up the first down. Freenberg rolling left, throwing across his body, and they'll rule that pass incomplete. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. I'll stop the clock. 53 ticks on it here in the third as we near this fourth quarter of play. Play clock winding down here. Freenberg still looking to the sideline. Finally get the snap high. And it is a quick throw out here to this near sideline. And Wilkinson able to pick up a first down.
And simple about that. That DB's got to get off that block, though. My goodness, that wide receiver was driving him down 20 yards. 20 yards downfield.
Donovan Hamilton, the corner out here on this near side, working against Wilkinson. Alderson to the far side of the field here, 1st and 10. And snap. Little quarterback keeper up the middle, and flag is thrown.
That looks in the territory of a hold.
Came in a little late, though.
It did, so probably going to be marked from downfield, or at least a couple yards downfield.
They will march off the full 10, though. First and 20. They let time run down. So that will do it for this third quarter of play. And we will go into the fourth. Dripping Springs will have the ball, 1st and 20.
Coming together as a football family to support our program is one of the things that makes Austin High football truly special.
And the Tigers
We'd like to recognize this year's loyal forever
in control
extra big thanks.
and trying to keep driving. They've got in their backups right now. Get their youth some experience on this stage. Of course, we see Coach A down there on the field and you're on the sideline. Coach A, we're good friends of the program here because we handle Coach A's baseball broadcast when Coach A gets to be fully calling the shots. We'll flip the field here, and Dripping Springs will get started. And a quick snap here. Friedenberg, far side, pass is caught. Alderson, though, is right there, and that's a signal to keep that clock rolling. Not quite a first down. They'll pick up maybe, they give them about 5. It'll be 2nd and 15. Keep the clock running here. Freenberg out of the gun, snap. Play fake, Freenberg in trouble. Gonna tuck it, looking, still in trouble. Down he goes.
Well, I guess I'd call that a coverage sack because he certainly had a lot of time in the pocket. You would think he would just throw it away, but Maroons come up with the sack on it.
Nowhere to go with it. and that'll drop him back at midfield, so it'll be 3rd and 21. Of course, if anybody paid attention to the NFL over the past weekend, we saw a 2nd and 33 get converted.
I didn't see that. Who did that?
That was the Houston Texans against the still winless Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
So my fandom is currently in misery. I may be filling out one of those fan bandwagon transfer slips and transferring my fandom over, and whistles come in, and it seems as if Dripping Springs will talk about this. They'll burn a timeout.
It's escaping me right now, but who's Tennessee's quarterback?
Cam Ward, rookie
Cam Ward.
quarterback.
Yeah, my
Cam
gosh.
Ward.
That for sure, that is slipping my mind. Okay.
And by all metrics, the fan base would like that head coach fired from what I have gathered. They think that Cam Ward is progressively, it's only 4 weeks in the season in the NFL, but he is progressively getting worse.
Oh, okay.
He started out, looked really good first couple weeks, and since then it has been downhill, and
Okay.
that is a sign of probably not great coaching. Hard to say.
It's hard to say with the rookie.
It's hard. It's always hard to say. Well, and it's hard to say with a rookie. It's hard to say with a roster that is in that bad of a shape. And of course, Houston just picks up their first win as a result. And of course, Houston, they're struggling a little bit right now. Stroud has not really looked like C.J. Stroud of late.
Well, apparently they can't protect him.
You know, I hear that can happen when you trade away one of your better offensive linemen for, the sake of.
Yeah. Yeah. My understanding that they can't protect him, give him time back there, but.
Well, it'll be 4th and 21 here for Dripping Springs. They will not be aggressive, nor do they need to be. Up 49-0.
I have wondered if they had their punt team with them.
That's the first time tonight,
Yeah.
It seems like anyway.
Wake up the punter.
It's kind of like a couple weeks ago, the Dan Lanning interview that he gave.
Oh, goodness.
And he punts this one into the first row, it seems like, almost. But, it's kind of like the interview Dan Lanning gave where he said, well, they were up big. I don't even remember who they were playing. I want to say it was maybe Oregon State.
Yeah.
And he said, well, we had to get the punter out there, and he made the joke that we were afraid that if we didn't, he was going to transfer. Because they hadn't had to punt all day. And
well, not a very good punt there on that one. Came off the inside of his foot. Went pretty much straight left on him.
high snap, Jablon able to pull it down, and Elijah Jablon with some running room. First down, Maroons. Elijah Jablon, one of the bright spots in the victory last week, accounted for 4 of the 5 Maroon touchdowns. All 4 of the Maroon offensive touchdowns, 3 passing, had a rushing touchdown a week ago. And Jablon in now, commanding his troops. Trips bunch here to the right, time to the left here. High snap again. Jablon able to pull it down. Elijah Jablon rounding the corner, and Elijah Jablon finally stopped just shy of the 40. He looked like he was third in the batting order, rounding second.
Yeah.
Coming for home at that point.
Wow, he took some punishment on that run. But he picks up 7 yards, so.
Brings up 2nd and 3. Davenport will come in, like you said. Jablon maybe a little shaken up after the hard hit. And so Davenport comes in under center, snap. Play fake, Davenport in trouble. Scrambling to his right, and that pass is caught. Lorenzo Houghton. Falling backwards, but he makes the grab, and that's a first down for Austin High.
2 receivers in that area, but as you said, Hoopman did a very nice job of making a catch while he was falling down. Nice throw by Davenport as he was flush from the pocket, rolling right. Good accurate throw.
Play clock winding down. Receiver in motion is Hoopman. Davenport gets a snap off, dancing to his right. That pass, quick throw, catch, and they'll give it to him. Patrick Bird got the toes down, and timeout will be taken here.
Dripping Springs taking the timeout.
Timeout, Dripping Springs.
It is 1st and 10 for the Maroons. Dripping Springs will have 1 timeout remaining. Austin High has yet to burn a timeout here in the half. So out of the timeout with Davenport in this offense. Continue their charge. First and 10 from the 17 of Dripping Springs. Nobody has blown the whistle yet for the clock to stop.
There
they go. They sure took their time getting to that. Snap. A little bit of trickeration. It's a reverse. Jane Vasquez trying to turn the corner, and he will. It'll be a first gain there.
Nice
Quite
play.
a first down.
Yeah. Nice play. Made that defensive end miss. Kind of ducked that shoulder in, and then bounced it outside. Picked up 5 yards on the play. Maroons knocking on the door here.
Trying to eliminate that goose egg off the board.
Goose egg off, yep.
Davenport will come out in the gun now. Trips bunch to the right. He'll look to throw. Davenport going to pull it down, run with it, bouncing outside to the left. Davenport reaching, gets it down inside the 5.
Nice play by Davenport. Stepping up in the pocket and taking off running. Where they spot him? Looks like at the 3.
Come out under center. Little misdirection. Counter run for Caleb DeLeon. And he maybe loses a yard. 2nd and goal to go.
Looks like they got him for no gain on that.
Under center, Davenport. Single back set. DeLeon, low snap, bobbled. Davenport, quick pass, looking in the direction of Patrick Bird. And that'll be incomplete. It'll be 3rd and goal to go.
It looked like he had him. I felt like he kind of rushed the throw and put a little bit too much sauce on it. It's a tough catch for Bird to try to make. Tough pass for him to try to corral.
Nearing the 5-minute mark in this one. 3rd and goal to go.
I guess that was an incomplete pass. They got the clock running.
No, I'm guessing they just got that running clock because of the score.
Okay.
Give to DeLeon. Gets a yard or 2. And now whistles come in. They wave to stop the clock. I'm not too sure why. There's a flag there.
Offsides.
Foul be half the distance to goal. We'll replay third down.
So it'll be 3rd and goal, half the distance.
Austin High bringing in basically jumbo package, extra tight ends, taking off some of the receivers.
Can't hurry up and get the snap off, though. It's a Maryland eye. But give it. No, it's a fake. Play action. Bobbled, and it is caught. Touchdown, Austin High. They wanted to get it to the big man. He bobbles it, but Mac Diamond in behind him, able to scoop it up, keep it off the turf. And the Maroons find the end zone. Kick is up, and it is good.
Gonna be offsides on dripping sprays. Will be declined and point after good.
Austin High with 4:26. Answer the bell and find the end zone for the first time tonight. And again, cannot help but to reiterate, despite how it appears on the scoreboard, it certainly at times felt a lot closer than 49-7. And I think 3 giveaways, 3 gifts to Dripping Springs, which is a team that they really don't need the charity.
They don't need help. No.
You know, I don't know where, they may have gotten the impression that this was a charitable organization, but I assure you they are not. And Austin High, though, 3 giveaways, 3 interceptions. Dripping Springs able to capitalize on every single one of them, it feels like, and come away with touchdowns and unable to really generate enough turnovers of their own. They had the one late at the end of the first half, but you were in a spot where it was meaningful in the sense that you got the turnover, you kept points off the board, but you didn't have enough time to be able to turn that into points of your own to try and dig your way out of a 21-point hole. And it was just one of those games that the mistakes, not really penalties, really a clean game and from an officiating standpoint. Yeah. But really more so just too many giveaways, too many extra possessions being gifted to a team in Dripping Springs that, quite frankly, just didn't need the help.
No.
So, and I'm sure, ask Coach Cecil about that, when you kind of have those, how do you go about having that conversation and disciplining these guys without it feeling like it gets old? And so, the answer he gave was, we have to keep holding them accountable, and we have to, trust this leadership to hold guys accountable. And he said, among them, Ethan Kale and Alonzo Garcia have really stepped up in holding each other accountable, that player-driven leadership, something we talked about. You have a lot of seniors, but do you have a lot of leaders, and especially for guys who, haven't been put in that position yet? And, he said, that Kale has found his voice, Garcia is finding his, and helping the offensive line and get them all in shape and taking leadership of them. As a slip tackle here and a long run down the sideline, Kale giving chase, cannot catch him, and a broken tackle.
Wow, I thought that play was going to be made for a short gain. You just got to make that tackle. You got your guys squared up. You got them wrapped. Wow.
Had 2 defenders
Yeah.
right there.
Right there. Got to make
And
that
it
tackle.
just unable to bring him down, able to get away, and extra point is good.
Extra point is good.
You know, Dodge Reed, the sophomore, able to slip those 2 tackles for Dripping Springs and turned on the afterburners, and Ethan Kale doing his best to try and chase him down, just unable with that speed to pick up a good angle and catch up with him.
Yeah.
And it just became what it was, and a foot race that Kale just cannot win. And so, you know, 3:41, Dripping Springs tacks on to their lead, and, you know, there's, again, and we talked about it, there's a lot of positives you can take away from this experience in the sense that, you know, passing game, that quick game was working pretty well early on for Austin High. Couple miscommunications, couple rush throws led to some turnovers that Dripping Springs was able to capitalize on. But, you know, I think that quick passing game, you work that in, and it's really almost an extension of your running game, but you kind of work that outside, and that opened up really at different points in time, that interior for Caleb DeLeon and Childers to kind of have some success up the middle. Owen Watley had a couple of nice carries to that inside too. And I think then from there, you know, your defense able to put up a fight in a couple spots, got some pressure in some moments, but, you know, we've talked about it, and it's, you know, it's nothing that I think, you know, fans at home maybe necessarily want to hear, but this is a team in Dripping Springs that, as Jane Vasquez putting together a really nice return, you know, this is a team in Dripping Springs that there's just a lot expected of them.
Yeah.
And in the sense that, you know, you got to think that right now you can put it in chalk, you could write it in pencil, give Dripping Springs a playoff spot, and you know, the expectation, though, for them has been, especially really set after they knocked off Vandegrift to open up that season, is their eyes are set on a state title. And Austin High is a program, you know, fans at home, they're just in a different spot than where Austin High is right now, where Austin High lost a lot of seniors. Davenport had a wide open Logan Davis. Big first down for the Maroons.
Looked like a blown coverage there, or maybe the corner was expecting some safety help over, but Davis got behind him.
But, you know, it's a program that Coach Cecil just took over, so he's trying to instill in his culture, his scheme, which the defense isn't going to change, but the offense you're undergoing some changes, and then trying to develop some guys to get ready for that. And I know Coach Cecil and this, you know, company, they're expecting, you know, they have the expectations. We'd like to make the playoffs and try to make a little run ourselves. It's a beautiful ball, bobbled and incomplete.
Looks like it was just a bit underthrown.
Looking in the direction of Jane Vasquez. In will come Mac Diamond. But, you know, and it's just, you're in a different spot, I mean, as a program, but I think Austin High is certainly looking around saying, you know, we can get to that point as we put together, you know, a program, as we put together the depth and we produce and we continue to develop the youth here. I think they can certainly achieve that. Fans wanted a flag. Did not get one. I think for a late hit on Davenport. That would be my guess. They're not given that. Clock will run. We near that 2-minute mark here in this one.
Well, they were going to have a free play, but they blew it dead. Contact. You know, I'm going to say probably this is some, you know, going back to last season. Of course, he wasn't started last year, but he did play a decent amount. But I think this is probably some of the best that Davenport's looked in a game.
Sure, yeah.
Doing a lot of little things to make positive plays, be successful, stepping up in the pocket, doing some scrambles. I thought he's thrown the ball pretty well tonight. Again, so I'm trying to think if there's been a game where I've seen him play this well. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that sounds crazy in a 56-7 game, but he's done some nice things this game.
Well, and I think when you look at last season, maybe not a total game, but moments when he came in, I think
Sure.
early in the season.
Sure.
You look at the Westwood game. I know he came in kind of filling in for Latham a little bit. Looked really good in spurts there. Looked good in spurts early on when he had to fill in for Latham when Latham would get banged up,
Yeah,
have to come
yeah.
out or whatever. But to your point, not in the sense that with the amount of work that he has had and the sample size that he has given, I think certainly this is one of the better performances of Davenport.
Yeah.
And Jablon looked really good,
Yes,
too tonight.
yes.
And Jablon looked really good in the second half last week. And Coach Cecil and I were talking about it, and he said, he thought in the moment that maybe Jablon's play wasn't necessarily quite as good until he went back and he watched the tape, and he's like, no, it was a lot better as Davenport, pass incomplete, was looking downfield.
Well, he had some nice room to run there, but he was trying to hit Vasquez. I thought Vasquez might have been held for a second, but there was no flag on that back end. So
Time ticking down here on this play clock. They get the snap off, and that'll be good enough for a first down. At least it should be.
yeah, they're giving it to him.
Maroons want another touchdown here. Downport out of the gun. Give to DeLeon. DeLeon, hard cut. Had to throw on the brakes to change direction.
Nice play.
Picks up 7, 2nd and 3. And the snap, give here to DeLeon, trying to attack that right side. Not much doing there for him.
Looks like they're going to give him a loss of about 2 on the play. Bring up a 3rd and 5, 50 seconds left in the game. I know it's 56-7. I'd like to see a little bit more urgency here. Goodness, you got.
Well, they pulled Davenport and run in Elijah Jablon. Now everybody trying to get set up. Coach Cecil may have to take a timeout here. No, they just get that play off. High snap. Jablon pulls it in. Elijah Jablon! Touchdown, Austin High!
Nice job handling the high snap. A nice ball fake to the running back coming over. He kept it.
Yeah, he
Pulled it
fooled
out.
me. I thought Caleb DeLeon had it and got stood up.
Yeah.
And until I realized that Jablon was moving with a head of steam, and Elijah Jablon they run on Hoopman late. Kick is up. Kick is good. "15 ticks of the clock remaining here in this one, and Austin High able to punch one in. Again, reminder, next week back on a Thursday, so a lot of Thursday night football for you fans at home this season, as we'll be out at Westlake. where the Maroons will take on the Chaparrals at Chaparral Stadium.
I don't understand why we're playing on a Friday at Westlake.
You want on Thursday?
I mean,
Yeah, Thursday. There you go.
They don't share the stadium.
Yeah, it's a little bit bizarre, you know. That one kind of threw me too when I saw it on the schedule, and I thought, why? Now, the good news that comes with it is it gives Austin High an extra day of rest to prepare for when we talk about it. You talk about the schedule. Yeah, you'll want to steal one from a Dripping Springs or a Westlake or Lake Travis. So you're not going to steal one from Dripping Springs tonight. I know miracles can happen, but 15 seconds to come up with, 42 points. So whatever powers you may believe in, that may be outside of them. But, going into this and putting this out there that, you want to steal a game from one of those three. But to make the playoffs, you absolutely must win Del Valley, Aikens, and Bowie.
Yeah.
As a tackle there, and a flag comes in.
Yeah, those are the games they've got to. I mean, it's really a.
I mean, it just boils down to it. It's just that cut and dry.
Yeah.
Can you steal a game from Lake Travis or Westlake or Dripping Springs? Everybody wants to do that. Everybody wants to take something from them. But there's a reason that they're the cream of the crop. There's a reason that they sit atop of the division year over year over year, top of the district year over year. So you got to catch them, and you got to be ready for that. Austin High looked like they might have had a chance to do that here tonight early, but the turnovers get away from them. So you're going to have to reset, try again next week in a hostile environment. That's not going to be easy.
No.
But that doesn't mean it's not doable. As Dripping Springs will kneel this one out, and you can close that one down. So, you set up, you've got the big game next week with Westlake. It turns into having to find a way. Can you steal a game on the road?
Yeah.
But then again, if you can just beat Aikens and Bowie, who are the remaining other two opponents on this schedule, you will be able to get that fourth playoff spot. Because remember, in this district and the way it's set up right now, 4 go.
4 go.
So as long as you have a seat when the music stops, you're in good shape. And, and we talked about last season, it's going to be the same scenario again. The way Aikens looks, the way Austin High looks, more than likely it's going to come down to that Bowie game.
That Bowie game,
now,
yeah.
Don't want to put the cart before the horse. You still have to play Aikens. You still have to beat Aikens.
Sure,
it's not that, it's not, don't want us to think that, you can write that in ink and send that in and submit that as final. But you're going to have to do those kinds of things. You're going to have to win those games to get a playoff spot and then try to steal one from a Lake Travis or a Westlake. And again, we've talked about that's not easy. That's not an easy task.
I do think what we've seen the last 2 weeks, including tonight's game, particularly from what we saw offensively and some of the things that they were able to do. I mean, this is a team, again, you still got to play the game. You still got to kick it off. We're not trying to assume a win over in Aikens, but this is a team that if they play the type of ball that they're able to play, it's hard for them to compete with the Dripping Springs, Westlake, and Lake Travis, but they should be able to knock off Aikens. They certainly should be in no less than a dogfight with, ironically, the Bowie Bulldogs. But so everything's still right there in front of them. Again, there were a lot of encouraging things tonight. I really was encouraged by the way the offense looked against a really good defense.
Yeah.
They were able to do some things in the passing game. Davenport played, I think, his best game that I've seen him in the last season and a half. So I think they've got things working enough to be able to work their way into the playoffs. But as you said, they've got to play the games. They got to win them.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens in a week from now. Austin High will have to make that road trip to Chaparral Stadium and take on Westlake. So a lot of encouraging things. They're going to have to cut down the turnovers to try and make a fight with Westlake, and certainly I think Austin High, as they've shown tonight, they can make a game out of it. They can make it into a fight as long as they cannot gift the other team extra possessions. Certainly, I can imagine that's going to be the message that Coach Cecil, gives to his team going into the week is, guys, against his quality opponent, we can't give them any help. You can't give them extra possessions.
No.
And unfortunately for Austin High tonight, that's really what caused them to unravel and fall in the manner that they did. And credit to a Dripping Springs squad that, we heard it from the Dripping Springs broadcast team. This is the best team they've seen in a while, and that is saying something to what Dripping Springs has. So I get the scoreboard is what it is, 56-14. Nothing to hang your head about, I think, if you're an Austin High Maroon, because of what we talked about. It could be a very different game without those 3 turnovers. It could be a very different game in a lot of ways as this offense had some success. So we will leave it with that on behalf of our entire broadcast crew here tonight. Ian, Shep, Maisie, and, of course, the new addition of Carson. And, of course, our broadcast friends back home, Suna Shane, our director of broadcasting, Merrill Bertrand, and on behalf of my broadcast partner, Paul Longoria, I'm David Roy, signing off here from House Park. Dripping Springs with the win, 56-14. We'll see you back here next week at Chaparral Stadium. Kickoff 7:30 as the Maroons of Austin High take on Westlake. We'll see you then.